bile on it and eat it raw, because that's what the Native Americans did. Apparently it was like their favorite thing to do.
Really?
Yeah, they would cut the liver out and cut slices of the liver and squirt bile on the liver and eat it raw. I want to taste that. I want to know what that tastes like.
What does the bile do? Why? Just
of course it was
Well,
you.
yeah. So that's the entire story. So I'm working at the agency then. So fast forward a few years later, and the logistics person came to me, and he or she was like, "Hey, what kind of espresso machine or coffee machine should we buy?" And I was like, "Oh, don't worry, I'll send you the links to it." And it was like $30,000 espresso machine from I imported it from Italy and had it flown in through some other logistics situation. And she's like, "So this is it?" I'm like, "Yeah, but we still need a grinder too, right?" And that was something that kind of lived in not only like infamy that I'd gotten the entire logistics system to buy me this espresso machine from Italy.
There was no oversight? Like no one was like looking at the accounts and going, "What the fuck is..."
Contrary to popular belief, congressional oversight and budgets at times is a little bit hazy when you're in war. They just kind of say, "Here's lump sum, here you go. Yeah. Here's $23 million. As long as you can justify it, maybe we'll be okay."
Well, you know how the government works too. At the end of a fiscal year, they're like, "We got some money to spend, or we don't get this budget next year."
And honestly, in Iraq early on, it was like a dumpster fire with cash. Just the tax dollars that were just burnt in that place on just dumb shit you couldn't even imagine. When I look back on it now as a guy that's very vested in what's happening in my tax dollars, I'm like, what the fuck were these idiots doing? Like, this is so dumb. It was so dumb.
Like, what was, besides espresso machines, what was the other ridiculous shit that the money was being spent on?
Oh, well, here's a great example. So, and I've got a myriad of them, but we had a field of up-armored vehicles that were really fucking expensive, like $500,000 a pop, give or take. We couldn't take them anywhere because they were so obvious that it was a up-armored vehicle that you just drive around and people would want to take pot shots at you for the fun of it. So you have these beautiful $500,000 to $1 million cars that you can't use. So you got to go, when we're working in the low vis capacity, means like you're just trying to blend in and just not get shot, man. Like, don't pick a fight. Like, let's just blend in, do our job, get the fuck out of here. But if you have a really expensive looking like G5 or something that's just really a G5 in the middle of fucking Baghdad in a war zone, people are going to want to take
pressure washed and all clean.
That Mercedes, that big Mercedes. A
G-Wagon?
Yeah, a G-Wagon.
They had G-Wagons? Like a bulletproof G-Wagon?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, dude. So
a G-Wagon.
All of this stuff is up armored. So when you look at this, like any vehicle you want, you can get a level of armor to it. But if you buy the most ridiculous and expensive vehicle in the middle of fucking war-torn country X, you're going to stick out like a sore thumb. And the whole intent of the mission is to blend in. So to my point, you'll have fields of shit that you can't use because some dumbass is pulling the trigger on your government tax dollars going, "This looks good to me. We might as well just see how that looks." Yeah. And you can take, I think it's something like 3 rounds of AK-47, so 7.62 by 39 in a 3-inch square.
Wow.
And that's through the entire vehicle. So when you're getting lit up in one of those, it's an interesting experience that you're never going to forget. And then 2, you're feeling pretty good, especially if they're shooting at you with AK. You're just like, whatever, I'm going to have a snack. You guys keep doing whatever you're doing. So have you been
inside one while it's under attack?
Oh, gosh, yeah.
What is it like? Just ding, 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 ding,
lots of
ding,
tinks.
ding?
Yeah, some tinks. And obviously, your job is not to stick around and kind of absorb the rounds, but a level 7 is what it's called. And so when you're in a level 7 armored vehicle that's getting shot at by either 7.62 by 39 or, increase the caliber of rifle or belt fed, it will absorb a certain amount of rounds. Sometimes it'll be loud and sometimes it'll be really muted and quiet depending on just
where it strikes.
Yeah, where it strikes, how it strikes. So if it's striking at an angle, if it's perpendicular to the round, where is it hitting? So how close are you to the shooter? How perpendicular you are to the round? How big is the round? So it'll sound different depending on where you're at. And you can kind of gauge like, where's that coming from?
How much weight does it add to the overall truck?
Oh gosh,
a shit ton.
Those
doors,
triples,
if you were to put your finger in one of those level 7 doors by hand, it's just gonna
you'll get it trimmed off.
Heavy.
You'll get it trimmed off.
Woo! And that's a really weird factoid about level 7s is you never want to roll down the windows, and you really can't on a lot of them. So if one of your teammates farts in the fucking vehicle, it's the worst because you can't open the door, roll down the window. You're like, really, dude?
Yeah, you can't go through Chick-fil-A drive-through in one of those things.
No. Yeah, you can. You can get it. I think you can get the window down about this far, give or take. But it'll also take a finger off. If you decide to roll up the window, the window is going to be 3.5 to 4 inches thick. Whoa. That's how big it is, and it's not glass. It's a plastic essentially, or some type of plastic. But you can see through, and you can see through. It looks somewhat general as far as like one of the questions that I was trying to ask you earlier was when you're on that carnivore diet. And you were eating nothing but meat. Were you eating wild meat, or were you also eating some, beef and some other things?
I was eating both. I was eating eating like a lot of elk, which I always do. But elk is very lean. There's no fat in that. So I would cook it in tallow. Okay. First of all, so I had a lot of beef fat. I would take scoops of tallow and just eat it. I would eat scoops of beef tallow, grass-fed beef tallow, and then I would also cook it in bacon. I would eat bacon, like I'd have like 4 or 5 pieces of bacon. You have to get fat, otherwise you'll get that rabbit starvation shit going on. So I was just trying different ways to get fat in my diet.
And you did that for a month?
Yeah, a whole month. And lost 12 pounds. And I got real aggressive.
Seriously?
Yes. It gets you aggressive. Like I don't know. Yeah, I think so for sure. But also I think it's just there's something about your body thinking all it does is eat meat. Right. I mean, I think like one of the things that my friends have said that have turned vegan is like it makes them more peaceful and calm. Right. And it makes sense. You're grazing. You're fucking. You're an herbivore now. Right. Like you're just out there eating grass and rice all day. Like of course, like it seems like your body would be calm, but on the other side of it, if you're eating meat all the time, your body's like, we got to kill. Yeah. Like it's. I think there's something to that. I really do. Because I wasn't trying to be aggressive. Right. But I would find myself like saying things that were a little too aggressive or like, it was weird.
It's like the world's worst fucking excuse. You're like, God, you're kind of an asshole today, Joe. I've just been eating meat, man.
I wasn't being a dick, but I was like a little quick to judge things. Like a little, fuck him. It was just a little too much. And then there was something, I think there's something to that. And I had a lot of energy, man. That was the other thing that was interesting. Seriously? Oh yeah, all day long. That was what was weird. It was like there was no crash. There was no crashing during the day. It was like I had extra energy. It was crazy. It felt weird, It's like I was eating no sugar, right?
What about eggs? Yeah. Fish?
Eggs, fish, yep.
All that.
Anything that's an animal.
Got it.
Yeah,
okay.
I was anything that's an animal. The only thing that kept me from eating that way was I got bored. So I love pasta. I love food. I love going to a restaurant and they make you a nice crab cake or something. Right. I love when chefs create things. Yeah, yeah. Like I don't want to say, hey, I only eat meat. Like it's just I like sushi. I like it with the rice and I like it. It tastes good. It's one of the things that I enjoy. So for that, it's like I could do it longer if I want. I could eat like that forever. But I enjoy food too much, I think. Right.
But that's the only reason I'm motivated in life to be pretty good at business is so I can buy pretty good whiskey and be a fat fuck anytime I go to a restaurant and buy the lobster roll that's $37 and I'm like, it's cool, man.
Yeah, there's some logic to that. Not worrying about what food costs and just there's something about I feel like when you go to a restaurant, you're going to like an art gallery. Yeah. It's like this guy's an artist or this woman's an artist. She creates these dishes and then you're experiencing their art. I don't want to just eat meat all the time. So when I go to restaurants, I eat whatever the fuck I want. But I think 80% of my diet's meat. Yeah. Probably around 80%.
I've been trying, like I went strictly, essentially vegetables and meat for probably the last 6 months just to see kind of what's going on. And honestly, I felt really good. And then I shifted just to meat 5 or 6 days ago. So I'm running just meat now. Yeah. So I'm interested in what you did, and I guess to pay for.
Can you explain burn pits to people?
Yeah, it was essentially a big pit where you would put all of your garbage, everything. So that's batteries, that's all the plastics, it's anything old and everything tires, that is required. Fecal matter. Yeah, it's fecal matter, it's tires, it's anything that is directly associated with your living condition in a war that you need to get rid of. And you would shove it all into a pit and then it would burn 24 hours a day, 365 days a year.
Whoa.
And yes.
There you go.
And how close is this to where you guys were living?
In every one of the fire bases I was at, 4.5 years is how much time I have on the ground in Iraq. On every one of my fire bases, there was a burn pit.
And not only that, you're going to have young privates out there with sticks, rolling it over in the smoke with probably some, knitted fake mask that they're wearing that they got. And they're the ones in there actually rotating the trash to burn it through completely. So they're completely subjected to that environment from a very long time.
Whose fucking idea was that?
Really smart, really, really smart. Officers and contractors, the same guys that decided that, the invasion was going to be a really good idea of Iraq. They're the same people making those types of decisions in the way that, obviously when we look at this now and we look back on it and we go, that's dumb as fuck. There was somebody in a series of people at that point in time in 2003 to 2009 in Iraq that were saying, this is a good idea. And that type of mentality, I think, is the same type of mentality today that says this is a good idea for us not to fund the research to figure out what the fuck is going on so we can do something about it. And when we talk about it, right, our voices are only so big. But I think if people knew what was happening with our generation of veterans, because, I'm 43, you're 33, 34.
34.
You got all these guys that are coming up with strange cancers. Like weird, one of Jocko's friends and our friends, he just died of cancer. He's a Medal of Honor recipient, had a strange heart organ cancer or some kind of cancer in his back, and he just died 6 months down the road. And what's happening, and when we talk about the other foundations and people that are diving into some of this research that's incredibly underfunded, they're starting to have this direct connection between the burn pits themselves and the chemicals that ultimately were exposed to, and a lot of the cancers that guys are coming. When I say that, they're developing, I guess.
Obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, it has to be. There's no fucking way that's good for you.
There's no fucking way.
And that's in the same camp?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's right there on the phone.
Where you would have to put, I would take a towel and I would wet it. And then I would put it down underneath my door going into this little container, a little shipping container. And I would put another one on the top just so I could sleep the rest of the evening, because the smoke was so bad from the burn pits as it would move in. You couldn't sleep because you couldn't sleep without coughing. And it was going, that was every day, depending on your fire base. That was every day. So it wasn't the fact that, hey man,